legendary Mr. Skin.
Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts Mr. Skin, Jimmy Fela, and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Welcome to episode 20 of the world-famous, internationally renowned Mr. Skin Podcast. I am Jimmy Fallon, getting ready to kick off a special Thanksgiving edition of the Skincast. Joining me now in Los Angeles, a woman who's no stranger to getting stuffed, the great Andrea Lowell. And of course, and in Chicago, everybody's favorite leg and breast man, Mr. Skin.
Oh.
How you doing, Skin?
Don't forget dark meat.
You love it. See, it's the Skin Man, the finest purveyor of dark meat in all the land, if I do say so. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So exciting. This is like the calm before the Thanksgiving storm, because we're all in our studios just kind of happy to be alive right now. Skin.
Where do you? What do you guys? Give me what does a Jimmy do for Thanksgiving?
A Jimmy Fela. Do you want it all the way from the beginning, like when we go to off-track betting at 8 a.m. with my kid?
It's a Norman Rockwell painting over there.
That's funny. The kid gives me his Christmas list, and then I have to determine how much money I need to win at the racetrack before the holidays officially start. No, Thanksgiving for me, I will be in Ohio. I'm in your hood, Skin.
Oh, cool.
Oh, well.
My wife's family live out in Ohio, so I'll be out in that part of the hood. Living good, man. It's actually, it's what everybody else is doing. Football, moonshine.
Now, is this a flight, or are you in the family truckster?
You know what we do? My wife has an SUV, and we leave at night. It's amazing because, I have a little kid. He's 7. What we do so he can miss the good majority of the ride is we leave at night, so he goes to bed, they sleep through the night, and I kind of drive across the country.
Smart.
And it's almost like time travel because he basically goes to bed when we're backing out of the driveway and wakes up in theirs.
That's great.
Yes.
You got it all figured out.
Yeah, no, I do it right. Because the magic trick is, if you're trying to really make time on the road, you don't need people awake. You need people asleep.
Yes. No question.
What about you, though, Jimmy? When do you get to sleep?
When I'm driving. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Andrea, I'm not kidding, though. I am known for getting, REM sleep at 82 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I know, it's not cool, but I actually have, in my youth, wrecked 2 cars. And it's so embarrassing when you fall asleep and wreck a car because you've got to explain to the cop that you're not drunk.
Right.
He's like, oh, so you're just an idiot. You're just an idiot, not like a drunk idiot. I mean, yeah. And the worst part, I will say this, Skin, about crashing your car when you're asleep is you wake up and then there's this split second where you realize the accident isn't over yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
You're I hit something, you're like, oh, my God, but this isn't over. And then you gotta have that thing go on. I guess. I mean,
how long is that drive from your house to Ohio?
It's a legit, where they are by the Indiana border, a legit 9 hours, 3 divorces, and 5 death threats from my house.
Yeah.
Usually, this is the one thing everyone does this on Thanksgiving weekend, and I resent it. Thanksgiving weekend kicks off, and every family puts their little driving selfie on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Don't you wish they'd wait an hour and post it when they were all fighting?
Yeah.
Shut that shit off.
Yeah, there is nothing as a guy with kids, man, going on those road trips. We go every year to Detroit because my wife's from Detroit, so we have to drive from Chicago to Detroit. It's about a little over 4-hour drive.
Okay.
But I got to say, some of our lowest family moments have been in that car. I mean, the most crazy fights, and you know how hard it is to be driving 75 miles an hour and try to punch someone in the back seat. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I swear to God, my kids will do something. You're trying to reach back there and grab someone, but you're driving. It's the most frustrating thing. But as a dad, man, it's tough because it's tough for kids to sit there for 4.5 hours and be good the whole time. I mean, there's always a breakdown at some point.
It's hard for adults to be good for 4.5 hours, so I could only imagine.
Right.
The only benefit to having the long road trip is that you get all of the talking behind your family members' backs out of the way.
Nice.
Before you get there. so you don't screw up. Like, you've emptied the playbook on everybody by the time you get there. And it's all, you're prepped, you're ready, it's all cool, and you get on good. And I find it to be helpful in that regard. Andrea Lowell, are you in LA or are you traveling for Thanksgiving?
All of my family's local, so it's really cool. My parents are actually going out of town this year, so I'm going to be at the in-laws. Woohoo!
Ooh. Now you wouldn't go anywhere near a turkey, would you?
For the holidays, I might break my lifestyle.
Okay.
Okay. But typically, I try to avoid any animal products just because they will make me a little sick to my stomach because it's been so long since I've had them. But luckily, my in-laws are Korean, and they do a full Korean spread, and most of Korean food, aside from the like barbecued meat, is vegetables. So it's really, really good for me.
Oh, that's good for you. Is it like A Christmas Story where they're in the where they're in the Asian restaurant on Christmas and they cut the head off the Chinese turkey?
Not that far out, but it's far out there.
That's funny. Andrea, do they watch football? Are they a football family?
Oh, no. No,
they don't
no,
get
no,
it.
no.
No?
Not at all.
Oh, come on. Like, I can forgive the no meat on Thanksgiving pretty easily, but to me, it really is just the football. That's all I have in this world.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like holding a family together betting football. So to me, like, the tradition of Thanksgiving really, I don't know, like 20 years ago stopped being food and started being like, booze and gambling. And it's like,
even my immediate family, we are not a football family. The only sport I ever watched growing up was my dad watching fake wrestling and also tennis.
Whoa. What do you mean fake wrestling? Hold up, back it up. I'm kidding. But go ahead.
WWF, WWE, all those things.
That's funny.
The entertainment wrestling. And then tennis. So I never grew up in a football family. My husband as well. No football, no baseball. So we just pretty much only watch tennis.
Wow.
It's very bizarre, but I'm okay with it.
It's hard to think. It's hard to imagine having that big Thanksgiving meal and not laying on the couch and watching football. I can't even fathom that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I can't relate to, especially because like in my situation, like I'm not even kidding. Like this, if the Cowboys don't cover the spread, this might be my last skin cast. I'm not even like, I might be relocated. Like, you don't know.
And this is one of those wonderful moments too, Jimmy, where you got the family together, the kids, everyone's, it's a happy thing. And then you lose you lose by a half point on your bet, and you're like in a grumpy, crappy mood and ruin everyone's Thanksgiving,
I know. That's exactly what it is. You know what the tell will be? You know how every week we kind of open the show and I'm like, I'm in New York and she's in LA. Next week you'll hear like, coming to you live from Ecuador. I'm Jimmy Fallon in the witness protection program.
Yeah.
I'm trying to gut it out. So, all right, of course, I know there are other people like Andrea that won't be watching football this Thanksgiving. Maybe you can give them some nudity skin.
With the food and the family. So, bring out the nudes.
Well,
let's talk titties.
There really is a lot to talk about. And the first thing I have to talk about, now, Andrew, you probably more than Jimmy, American Music Awards last night. Did you see any of it?
No, I am not an award show person. I just think they're weird and a waste of time. And I haven't watched award shows, honestly, in probably 5 or 6 years.
Well, I'm kind of the same way. I'm not a big awards guy, but for what I do for a living, this morning when I got here to the skin offices, our crack staff was all over. There were 3 or 4 things that happened last night at the American Music Awards that were Mr. Skin centric, and I wanted to run them down with you. And I put some pics up, and we'll have some pics at MrSkinPodcast.com of all this stuff I'm going to talk about today. But there's a lot to get to. So let me start. I think number one this morning, the big thing in the news, I don't know if you guys caught this, but I have a picture for you to check it out. Olivia Munn got the award for Best See-Through Dress.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know on the red carpet we taped that off E, and then I saw some paparazzi pics or some, where you're up against a step and repeat, and there's no question that was a braless number.
Yeah,
and you could see right through it. And she's very pretty. And
she is.
Is she still with Aaron Rodgers? Is that they're still
think
together?
So.
Because he was getting lit up on national television last night, and she's at this thing. But beautiful girl. She has been nude in a movie. You guys remember Magic Mike from, I think it was 2012, maybe. In the first couple of minutes after her and Channing Tatum had a menage, they're all naked. He's naked, the girl laying in bed's naked, and then Olivia Munn's changing, and you see her munchables.
You know,
and
Olivia,
very nice topless
she's been
scene.
in the business for quite a long time. You know, she started with Attack of the Show, and she's been in Hollywood, and every actress knows when you wear something sheer, it's going to pop with the big paparazzi bulbs and the external flashes and all this stuff. So I have to think that she almost did this intentionally, because no one's that dumb in Hollywood.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Even though it's a floral, a lot of flowers and colors
dress
that you know as a woman, you wear that dress.
And your stylist
paparazzi's going to get a see through.
It's your stylist's job to pick an outfit that's red carpet ready for you, that's going to look the best on you, and everyone knows when the
and get you talked about about.
So I think this was maybe a strategic move by the publicist, by the stylist, and Olivia. And, I'm not mad at her because she's got great little nips.
Now it works.
And guess what? We're all talking about it this morning. So good move.
Yeah,
good move.
No such thing as a wardrobe malfunction.
This one could be, because the next thing I wanted to talk about, this was breaking news today. No, I didn't see this coming. Now, Andrea, look at Chrissy Teigen here, because this is unbelievable. So, this is a pretty epic wardrobe malfunction. Andrea, could you describe what's going on here? Because I don't understand how you can't wear panties with an opening on the side of your dress. How can this be?
Okay, well, Chrissy Teigen has very publicly stated numerous times in various interviews and on talk shows that she is a pantyless warrior. She does not like underwear. She doesn't like a thong. She doesn't like a G-string. She's
now a side snatch warrior because you see complete side snatchage
so
there.
She's wearing this asymmetrical dress that has this cut open slit that goes all the way up past her hoo-ha. And at the angle that this photo is taken, you can see the hoo-ha from the side. She's completely shaved, waxed, or lasered. I'm not sure. But she's got a tucked-in little thing.
I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She's a model. She's been around cameras. I mean, how do you leave your house with a slit that big on the side? Mind my P's and Q's here. And then no underwear. Well, I'm glad she did it, but I'm blown away. Like, is she surprised that? Yeah, come on. There's no way.
I have no idea. If I don't know anyone that would want to show their cookie for publicity. But maybe again, like Olivia, this was contrived in a way. But I just can't see why she would want to do this. But I'm enjoying it.
I'm going with it was skin-tensional.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just can't.
Yes. You know why? Look at the setting on the pin.
Help me here. Yeah.
Do you see the setting on the pin she has on her dress right there?
Yeah.
Like they, obviously calculated, strategized to get to the absolute breaking point. You see the way the dress falls?
Yes.
Like right where either the landing strip or, the home base would be.
Yeah.
And, it looks strategic. Now listen, I have no problem with it. I think it's great. The issue we're running into is they're really running out of, like, at some point that people are just not going to wear dresses. Like, how long before someone just shows up topless and is like, what?
We're getting there.
Someone's going to have to do that, because how are you going to win this rodeo of, exposure?
I mean, the closest thing to that would have been the Rose McGowan.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Rose. It was at the MTV Awards in the early 2000s. Yeah.
I think that's the best red carpet sexiness to date. I don't know about you, Mr. Skin, that blew me away, and it's still emblazoned into my brain. This is very bizarre, but it's very hot. And yeah, you can tell she's completely shaved. There's nothing going on, not a hair in sight.
Right.
But just the way that slit in that dress goes all the way up, it'd be foolish to think no one wouldn't be able to snap the snap.
The only thing I could think that we still haven't seen that I can pinpoint at an award show is a butthole slip.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I mean, we've had nip slips, vagines. I can't recall a butthole slip.
No.
Can anyone?
No.
We're better than this, America.
Yeah, let's go. We have something to share. Anyway, I know we got a ton of stuff. I could talk Chrissy Teigen's vagina all day, but there was some more. Hey, another thing. Did you see? Okay, Maddie D showed me this because, of course, Maddie D watched all the dance numbers, so he had to show me this scene. But the people here at Mr. Skin love this, and we have it at the website. So Nicki Minaj is doing a song, and all these girls are, they're doing a dance number, and she spreads her legs, and she has her little undies on or whatever she's wearing there, her outfit.
Yeah.
She spreads her legs, but then look what she does with her hand on ABC national television, and you could just tell as the camera was zeroing in, it just pulled back right away. They were like, holy shit, what's she doing? Look at Andrea.
She's stroking the kitty. She's stroking it hard.
Thank you.
I mean, here's the thing, though. With the choreography, these are things you rehearse, you practice before you go live. So was this something she improvised because she was just feeling super sexually empowered? Or are the mainstream networks allowing more? Pretty out there.
Okay, let me bit of both. But I think for Nicki Minaj, this is like a conservative performance.
This is standard. Yeah.
Well, like you turn on Nicki Minaj, you're expecting a 2-sided dildo minimum. She gets pretty after it out there.
No, that's great. Well, if you think about Janet Jackson with the huge controversy at the Super Bowl in 2003. Right. Compare what Janet Jackson did to Nicki Minaj spreading her legs open and rubbing her hand on her vagina. It's like, isn't this more crass or worse than what Janet Jackson did?
I would think so, but because of the Janet thing, they actually showed the nip.
Right.
And I think that was it was like actual nudity. This is like simulated fondling. So
Janet Jackson
spread your legs.
Is America's sweetheart in a way. She would never do anything vulgar, and so it was very shocking. We expect this from Nicki Minaj. We expect the pussy pounding and the stroking, and it's sad that we hold different standards to people.
Yeah, that's funny. But I would say we're a little desensitized to like the simulated acts because of that Miley VMAs performance. Remember when Miley came out and just humped half of America and Robin Thicke and all that?
Yeah, Robin Thicke. That was, that's what I'm saying. It was like simulated sex. And speaking of that Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj, they did like a grind train, which is about 12 or 14 people in a row, and they're just grinding, and it was kind of a poor man's human centipede, but it was
as opposed to a wealthy man's
a wealthy man where you actually get your face in there,
which is a fine creation.
Yeah, but I said these were the 4 things from the AMAs that we here at Mr. Skin really thought were cool.
Well,
so
I loved it as a pervert. I think this is all phenomenal, but I do think like the old man in me thinks this doesn't bode well for music.
Right.
That like the music shows have become porn shoots.
Again,
I love it. I think it's great, but I think it speaks to a lack of quality in the music that this is going on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So on behalf of all of us, I think I say to the music industry, keep sucking, because this is what I want to watch.
Yeah.
I do want to watch this, so
no,
I'm not complaining.
Thank God for MrSkin.com, because I could skip the entire stupid award show that I don't want to watch and just see the good stuff here. So thank you, Mr.
Yes. Well, think of all the guys last night that were watching football, but then still wanted a nice recap from us. So so my guys here, I want to give credit because I want to be the first to admit I did not watch the show. There was other things going on last night, and our guys went through that and grabbed it. And I'm kind of with Andrea when it comes to the AMAs. I'd much rather see the 4 skin highlights and move on. So that's what we'll do now, because I also have television to talk about, and it was your usual great Sunday night TV. But I wanted to turn you guys on to something from. It's a show that's on, you guys know there's FX and then there's FXX, and there's a show called You're the Worst, which is a pretty cool show. They just wrapped up their 3rd season last Thursday night, and it's with Chris Gere and Aya Cash, and they're these like toxic, self-destructive people who fall in love. It's a well-written, very funny show, and Thursday, a girl named Kether Donahue crashed at Aya's place, and I just love this. Now, it's not nude, but I just thought this was so sexy. I guess she's like the second female lead on the show, for people out there that don't watch it. But she's very ditzy. But does she have a great, sexy, all natural body? And she's walking around Aya's place naked eating a bowl of Fruit Loops. And to me, it's just like, it was just such a cool, and it was strategic. So you couldn't see anything, yet you knew she was completely naked in all the scenes, but really hot. And when I do my Anatomy Awards in February, this will definitely win Best Nude while eating, Fruit Loops. And it was an awesome scene. And you get a close up of like the camera's above her, and I just love this shot. She's got these big natural boobs. The bowl is right in front, like she's eating the Fruit Loops, and you could see, like, Andrea, I mean, that's a lot of booby there. And then, but I'm still, and I don't even like Fruit Loops, but I love that Fruit Loops are in this scene.
It works for you, I'm totally feeling it. But yeah, her boobs look like the type of titties that just want to be squeezed. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, you just want to squeeze them, motorboat them. That's the beauty of real big, natural, full boobs like this. I mean, it's making me hungry for Fruit Loops. And like you, I don't even like Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think, like, is it a two cans Sam joke or something? Because my God, with those, fantastic. But anyway, it's not a nude scene, but it's one of those things that I just wanted to share with you guys. I love this. It's actually my favorite TV moment of the week is nude while eating Fruit Loops on You're the Worst. So anyway. Also, the Westworld, which has been the #1 show of the year without question for nudity. Tandy Newton.
Again.
I mean, I'm like, she is the nude MVP of 2016. There is no one who I can't recall her wearing any clothes this season on the show. It's like she's in the lab. They're always bringing her back. I don't want to get into why, because if you're a show or two behind, you'll kind of get the hint soon. But she keeps going back to the lab. The guys are working on her. Tons of gratuitous nudity from Tandy Newton, and that's all natural, guys. And she's really a beautiful, and she's I want to say she's in her late 30s, early 40s. She's not like a young girl. I think she's gorgeous. Plus, she has a British accent.
It's super hot on all levels. And I don't know about you guys, but her boobs look even bigger this episode than previous. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
Could be the angle shooting up, but I mean,
listen,
I love her.
Well, throw in a bowl of Fruit Loops and you got to do it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, she's definitely a RILF, a robot I'd like to fuck, because I am like a big Tandy Newton fan. So anyway, that was last night on HBO, Westworld. Just awesome show. And then we've talked Ruby Modine on Shameless, and she's been hooking up with Lip. But I'm going to go this. She's, of course, Matthew Modine's daughter, which we've talked about in previous podcasts. But, Andrea, I got a new one for you. Under boob tattoo.
Whoa.
You know, on the right girl, I like it. And on her, I like it. I think on me, it would look preposterous. But when someone's a little edgier, I think it's really sexy because it's painful down there. I heard like getting tattooed on the ribs is one of the most painful spots to get tattooed. So it shows that badassery, but it's also delicate enough. I'm feeling it. Yeah,
we'll call this Jimmy a tit-too.
Yeah, a tit-too, for sure.
But I mean, I don't see underboob. Is underboob tattoo? I can't. I'm sure they're out there, but I can't recall under boobs tattoo. I know you've seen them.
People who have them usually have ink everywhere.
Yeah.
So you don't even realize that they're there. Because as an isolated standalone tattoo, that's not common at all.
Right.
Like to your point, Skin, you really don't see them out there. Just
that's
like a
saying,
standalone.
Like if a girl's whole body's tattooed up, I get it. But when your only tattoo is on your boob, like at the bottom of your boob, that's kind of a weird one. And plus, a lot of girls now, I've noticed, have more sentences or words or phrases versus... You know what I'm saying? Like have you noticed that? Like a lot of
too long. Like it's people are now going to like the Google URL shortener, like to make their tattoos readable. Yeah, we need to relax. We need to relax with the tattoo length.
And then you get a guy that spells a word wrong, and that's always a problem. You know,
not on TV and not on films. I've actually seen a lot of girls with these under boob tattoos, and I think it kind of all started with Rihanna having that. Between the titty tattoo that extends under both of her boobs. I think she kind of started this trend, but I think it's really pretty.
Oh yeah, no question about it. We were talking about this for Anatomy Awards that we're going to consider a category for best under boob tattoo, and I thought this was great. Yeah. So anyway, that was Shameless last night because I got so much stuff to get to. I want to keep moving. So the show Graves, we've talked a little about. Graves. This is the show from Epix with Nick Nolte, and they've been tossing some nice nude scenes. Now, if you have DirecTV like I do at home, you can't get this, but obviously there's many ways to get it. But people that have Comcast and some of the other cable television stations, Epix is available. And this Graves with Nick Nolte is, it's getting some nice reviews, but lots of nudity. This weekend, this Kelly Hernandez, now she's totally tatted up, but not on her underboob, had a nice, real nice sex scene and nude scene and cute girl and just a fun. This is just one of those, hey, who the hell knows the show even exists? That's why MrSkin.com exists, and it's a pretty cool nude scene.
Now, I have a feeling her tattoos are actually fake and put on for the show. They just don't look real to me.
I don't know. It's hard to say because it's a lot going on there. A lot going on. But she has a nice body.
No,
and
she has a great body.
Real beautiful face.
And
really beautiful face.
She knows how to ride on top. I'll give her that too.
Yeah, she is a rider. So Jimmy, mark that one down. Kelly Hernandez. Put that on your to-do list. She's a nude comer that we're monitoring here at MrSkin.com. So
far,
there was
good.
there was some other TV stuff, but I wanted to. I got some other cool stuff to get to with you guys. So let's shift over to movie. Nudity now. Andrea, were you a Homeland girl? Did you watch the show Homeland?
Love that show.
Okay, so you probably remember Morgan Saylor, who played Brody and Morena Baccarin's daughter, Dana Brody. You remember in the first 3 seasons? She was really, something about her. I always I'd watch the show and think, man, that daughter's hot, but she's playing like a sophomore in high school, so I had to back off. But then in real life, she was older, and she, I just thought she was really a beautiful girl. Well, there was I think it was in season 2, she had a sex scene with a guy. They were on the run, and you could kind of just barely see her breasts during the scene, but I recall it's like it was a single frame, a tough shot. So, all right, we'll take it. It was cool that she was having sex. Well, now that she's no longer hanging around Homeland, she's doing other stuff. Well, she did this movie, Being Charlie, and it's a movie. I think I want to say Rob Reiner directed it, and it's written by his son Nick. And out of nowhere, she does this crazy great nude scene. Look at that butt shot. That's coming from Dana Brody from Homeland. So we're all over that. It's so the movie's called Being Charlie, and a great nudity from Dana Brody, our friend Morgan Saylor from Homeland, and really good stuff that we're tracking at Mr.
And
Skin.
how old is she? Is she 18? Is she 19?
Maybe Maddie D could look that up as we're sitting here, but she is.
That is one young, tight body.
Yeah, she is. And I remember in the early seasons, like on the message boards, and there were people a lot of people that didn't like Morgan Saylor. Like, they didn't like her character, but I always really dug her. I thought she was it was like a very realistic. She was acting like how if your dad was like was a turncoat,
double agent.
Double agent. I think you'd act a little nutty.
I wasn't a fan of her character, but I appreciate her as an actress. I think that actually goes to say how good of an actress you are. When people really hate you because your character, that's because you're doing your job well.
That's a true story. That is true story. Think about, I hated the villain in Robin Hood so much, and someone explained that theory to me. I'm not kidding, Andrew. Like, someone told me, like, oh, you only hate him because he's a good actor. But it was I think the reason I hated him is because every time I saw his face, I had to hear that shitty Bryan Adams song. It just became like a Pavlov's bell.
Right. Yeah. Our Maddie D, our executive producer, just told me she's 22 years old.
Oh.
So
nice.
Yeah, she's still, you're right, she's still young. But really, definitely check this out. Go to MrSkinPodcast.com and we'll have the pics of Morgan Saylor because she looks great.
Yeah,
so,
it's not only the butt, it's the boob too.
Oh, I know. Yeah, some right boobage.
Let's not forget the boob.
Anyway, yeah. Now here's this is big breaking news for you guys I wanted to share. And I think this is one of the things this is the kind of stuff that I get really excited about running this website, because sometimes things that are pretty funny and cool happen years after the fact just because you get lucky or someone discovers it. But my guys found this week, and I couldn't believe this. So let me give you the backstory. You guys remember the classic sex scene, one of the great sex scenes in the history of R-rated movies. It was Halle Berry and Billy Bob Thornton in Monsters Ball.
Oh, yeah.
And we've all seen it. And there was the regular version, then there was a European version that had additional nudity that wasn't available in the American version. And I get asked all the time on shows and interviews, were they really having sex? Because it was so real. And if you watch the scene again, it's very realistic. And I do understand why people thought maybe they were truly having sex. Well, this week, or I should say last week, we found now get this, Jimmy, you'll love this, a Malaysian open mat VHS version of the movie, because who wouldn't be looking for that? But we were tipped off to something, so we had to check it out. So in this version, which open mat it's a filming technique, and then what happens is they'll make it for, say, widescreen theatrical release, and then what happens is sometimes they'll release it on, say, like a full screen version, and stuff that was supposed to be cut off on one version shows up on the other. It's a technical movie thing. I'm not a real expert on it, but that's the basics. Okay. So we find this Malaysian open mat VHS version of the movie, and in this VHS version, you could clearly see Billy Bob's ball sack as Halle Berry is riding him, and you cannot see this in other versions, and it's just kind of now here I am getting all excited. You guys are like, what? It was all about a ball sack.
Hey, I love balls. Bring it on, baby.
Yeah, well, no, the point is that, again, were they really having sex? I'm not saying this proves they were really having sex, but it does prove that his balls and cock were up against her body, which is pretty cool.
Let me tell you, I think this 100% says they were actually having sex, because as a ball expert and a sex expert, the balls don't ascend like that unless the dick is pulling them up.
Well, there's no proof. There's no 100% proof, but the balls look like they're
being pulled.
They're holding. Yeah, they're being pulled. They look tight.
They look very tight. And I've mentioned the cock sock and all that stuff before. Usually when a guy's wearing that during a sex scene, the whole thing is wrapped up. The balls, the wiener.
Yeah.
So the fact that the balls would be left out makes me kind of wonder, does he have a piece of tape around his wiener? I doubt it.
Well, now you know why the movie was called Monsters Ball.
Hey! And I appreciate the fact that he actually shaved his nuts too. Good on you, Billy Bob.
Yes, smooth nuts.
Yes.
But again, here I am. Just so you know, when I started, let's do a Mr. Skin podcast, never did I imagine we'd do a segment on Billy Bob Thornton's ball sack. But I got to say, this is one of the great sex scenes in the history of movies, and we could see it now thanks to the Malaysian open mat VHS version.
It's
kind of
funny.
Another view.
We can't find the Malaysian plane, but we can find the Malaysian ball cut.
Right.
Monsters Ball. Priorities, world. Priorities.
Yeah. There are many times where I sit around and think, this is what I do for a living. Like, I literally had a meeting this morning about this, and I'm talking about it on a podcast, Billy Bob's ball sack. So anyway, I'm very grateful and thankful. And speaking of being thankful, with this being Thanksgiving week, I wanted to share with you guys some really fun stuff that we do at Mr. Skin. And I was talking to Maddie D this morning, and we were trying to, what kind of cool Thanksgiving stuff should we do for our Thanksgiving week podcast? And I said, you know what? Over the last 5 or 6 years, we always did a fun Thanksgiving playlist or a top 10 list. And I said to him, let's kind of show some of the past I guess you'd call it like past things that we did at the website for Thanksgiving to celebrate, the big Thanksgiving meal and kind of do a food themed thing. So I wanted to share with you some of our lists and just give you the sample of what these things are, because in our world, Thanksgiving is really Spanksgiving, and we can always turn something wholesome and wonderful like Thanksgiving into something naked and disgusting. But anyway, let me start with we have a thing here we call mashed potato boobs, and everyone knows mashed potatoes, and a lot of people eat them on Thanksgiving. So you wonder, what the hell's mashed potato boobs?
Yeah.
But when we look at so many breasts, we try to categorize them in different ways. And one of the things we noticed are girls with smaller breasts that have tan lines. And it looks like two big piles of mashed potatoes on your plate. And we came up with a top 10 list of mashed potato boobs. And just an example, Brittany Daniel in Rampage is a good example. And again, go to MrSkinPodcast.com and we'll show you this stuff. I mean, we really did our homework here. And another example is that very brief nude scene in The Graduate, Anne Bancroft, which actually we believe was a body double, but that's a great example of mashed potato boobs where you have the white breasts, smaller size, against the brown backdrop, so it looks like two scoops on your plate.
And a dollop of gravy on top.
Yeah, and
I'm loving it.
In my case, it would be white gravy, but but anyway, it's a fun thing we do at Mr. Skin, mashed potato boobs. So as a Thanksgiving Mr. Skin style, we just wanted to give you a little taste of that. So that's mashed potato boobs, and those are two great examples. You could see the pictures at our website. So another thing we do around Thanksgiving is, this is a big one, is turkey timer nipples. And there's obviously there's been a lot through the years, and I think it's a hilarious expression. But what we've done in the past, where the turkey's done, is top 10 lists of girls who've got the turkey timer nips, and the two probably most famous is the ones I asked Maddie D to put it at our site so people could check it out. Would have to be Kirsten Dunst's Spider-Man. Remember when she was in the pink shirt and the wet kind of t-shirt? She had incredible turkey timers. And to me, one of the all-time great moments, there was I don't know the season offhand, but it was Jennifer Aniston on Friends in a kind of a grayish white shirt. Check those turkey timers out, guys.
That was on Friends, like network television?
Sweater Friends is what it should have been called. Yeah.
Wow.
But look at that. Isn't that amazing?
That is so
we got
hot.
That at the
There's
website.
nothing hotter than a chick's nipples popping through her shirt. It's way hotter than a push-up bra. It's way hotter than it's just so sexy.
And way hotter than a guy's.
Well,
Just way. Just way.
And a Dago tea with spaghetti sauce on it. Yeah, you're right. But this is way hotter.
This works. I'm shocked that was on NBC, Skin. That's
Well, again, it wasn't like the camera zoomed in on those for like, this is us grabbing a frame. Yeah, you're right. Very good, Andrea. So anyway, that was turkey timer. So that was another thing we've done in the past. One of our features on a Thanksgiving was our best turkey timer nipples, so you could see why that was a cool one. Another one is we love one of my favorite things. If you come to our website and just go to our search and just type in apron, it'll give you all the times an actress was naked while wearing an apron.
Oh, I love that.
And
so cute.
It's so sexy. Yes. So, all the moms and grandmas, well, let's go with moms, are wearing their aprons, cooking for Thanksgiving. And we did a top 10 list during one Thanksgiving of naked under an apron because of, all the cooking. And just a couple examples. A Color of Night with Bruce Willis from 1994 is a really great movie he did with Jane March. It's, it's a Skin classic, let's say. And Jane March, she made a meal for him, is completely nude with this white frilly apron. It's so freaking hot, and you get nice rear view. One of the great nude while wearing an apron scenes in movie history. Another one that we were talking about this morning, I'm glad Maddie D pulled it up, is Lee Cairns in 88 Minutes with with Al Pacino. Check that out. How hot is it, Andrew? Do you ever go apron, no clothes, just the apron?
Yeah. And a lot of people would be like, yeah, right. No, you don't. What's the purpose? But the truth is, yeah, you do. You get home, you strip down naked, but you want to make something. You don't want to get oil splatter on you, or you don't want to get sauce on you. So yeah, you throw the apron on and nothing else. It's pretty hot, but it's practical too.
And Jimmy, you do it, but you turn the apron around.
Oh. Hey. No, I'm looking at this shot from 88 minutes. I'm thinking more like 88 seconds. Oh my God.
I mean, that is one sweet ass. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
And it's a great movie too.
If I had to say, and there's been a number of these, we made a top 10 list. I think this Lee Cairns in 88 Minutes with Pacino's, to me, the hottest nude while wearing an apron scene in movie history. But
yeah, because she's walking and
I'm happy
jiggling.
to debate it with anyone.
Yeah, I'm with you, Skin.
Now, another one we did. Now, this is a little weird, and don't be offended, anyone out there, but it's all movies. They're just having fun. But we did one year where it was breast carvers, where girls will be topless. And when you have a database as big as ours and you're chronicling every nude scene in the history of movies and television, we could curate the most incredible stuff. So we say, all right, we came up with this breast covers. These are girls who are topless and rub a knife over their own breasts.
Geez.
Now, I'm not advocating cutting up yourself or anything, but there have been moments. Example, Florence Pugh and Marcello, which is actually a movie that came out this year, that we were like, holy geez, what the hell's going on? But anyway, so imagine a girl topless, rubbing a knife, breast carvers, doing that. And another famous one from the 90s, Ashley Judd in Normal Life. Now, this got a little crazy, but and again, Jimmy, they're just acting. It's not really, but for the theme of breast carvers, Ashley Judd in Normal Life is another one. So
this doesn't even like throw me. Like I'm 39 and the only girls this age who look at me are cutters. Weirdos, daddy issues, cutters. I don't get the normal one skin, so I'm not as thrown as you'd think.
Yeah, she's a cut above the breast.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Anyway,
but a lot of people are into knife play. They really are. I've done some investigative journalism on it. No joke. And there are people who really get off on either running the knife over you or very light grazing cuts, and it turns them on. So
well. Good for them, but this was strictly for the breast carver fans out there. We did this. I just wanted to show, but this is the kind of stuff that you just pull up at a Thanksgiving at MrSkin.com.
Of course.
So, again, come by MrSkinPodcast.com. You can check it out. Last but not least, I had to show you guys this crazy, crazy scene. Now, I think this movie came out in 2007, if I remember. It's called Bewitched Housewives. It's picture a Skinamax type of movie, right? There's a lesbian scene with Nicole Sheridan and Beverly Lynn, and they're going at it. They're munching box. They're just having a great lesbian time. And in walks this freaking guy wearing a pilgrim outfit, and I guess he says something like twins. I can't remember what he says, but he was horrified. I guess whatever he's doing, he's holding 2 carrots and he's in a pilgrim's outfit. But this is the kind of stuff you could see at MrSkin.com on Thanksgiving, is an old guy in a pilgrim outfit holding 2 carrots up as he walks in on a very hot lesbian action.
Well, that was a cornucopia of hotness and sexiness, and I'm stuffed already just looking at it.
Yeah.
Yum.
That's funny.
Yeah. And if you come to our website literally and search pilgrims, like in the history of movies, Jimmy, and I'm not exaggerating, in the history of movies, every time there's a nude scene that someone had a pilgrim's outfit, and you think, well, how many times could that happen? It's actually happened quite a few times.
Really?
Yeah, we have it we must have like 8 or 9 times in the history of movies.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah. You'll be Plymouth Rock hard.
Hey,
so
I've got my baster out as we speak, as they say.
Yeah. So anyway, that was our whole shtick on Thanksgiving, and we had a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Maddie D also, we did one year Butterballs, which are girls with big thighs and legs, and your Sarah Ruse, your Anna Nicole Smith.
Yes.
That was actually hot. Like I'm into the BBW babes, and we did that. We had fun with it, kind of a Thanksgiving Butterball thing, but big fan of that. And we did a top 10 list one year with that too, so I should point that out.
Nice.
That's so cool. And are all these lists still available on your site if I want to go check out the Butterball list?
And like I said, our search is so incredible. Like it probably was 2 or 3 years ago, I literally had 4 skin turns in our office, and it took them, I want to say it was more than a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a couple of years where they literally, I remember these, I don't know if they were in college. I can't remember what they did, but they would sit in the back. We paid them $10 an hour, and they were the happiest people in the world. They literally went through every pick and clip in our database, and if they saw a pilgrim outfit, they'd write pilgrim, or if they saw a red balloon, they'd write red balloon, or if they saw you were on a balcony, whatever it was, they would type in keywords.
I love it.
But you got to understand, for and I'm not exaggerating, like 400,000 pics and clips. I mean, it took forever. And plus, you have to watch the scene. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? And since they've done this, now we do it ourselves to the new stuff. So now, like I said, let's say you're in the pilgrims, man. You just search pilgrims, and you instantly find out every time a dude's wearing a pilgrim outfit. It's genius. So I got to say, that was one of the things I'm most proud of at my website. So
be proud.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I got nothing. I was just applauding you. I was applauding your efforts. That's fine work, Skin Man.
Last but not least, I don't know if you guys caught this. This was trending big time on Facebook late last week.
Yes.
And, it was Shelley Duvall, who we remember her as Olive Oil. She was on Dr. Phil, and she's up there in age, and she's gotten a little. Also, she was Jack Nicholson's wife in The Shining.
Yes.
Those are the
I was
two
going to
things
say
people
Olive
would
Oil.
know.
I don't know her as Olive Oil. I know her as the chick from The Shining.
Well, she totally looks like Olive Oil, and
Totally.
so anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, she's on Dr. Phil, and she's little. Let's just say she's a little bats in the belfry.
Aww.
And she's saying wild, crazy things. And the sad thing is, Dr. Phil's like, "Oh, and I'll make you feel better." It's like, oh my god,
I know it was very exploitive by him. But you know what's funny? Like, people keep talking about like how out of it she looked on the show, but she only looks so out of it if you haven't seen the other people who go on Dr. Phil.
Yeah, that's true.
Compared to the other people, she's like a valedictorian.
Yeah, well, it was sad to say, and all I wanted to show you guys is that, believe it or not, I guess Maddie D told me that Vivian Kubrick, who's Stanley Kubrick's daughter, is actually doing like a kind of a GoFundMe type thing where you could raise money to help her. But all I wanted to point out is, in her day, even before The Shining and even before Popeye, she did a movie in 1974 called Thieves Like Us.
Wow.
Which is I think it was a Robert Altman movie, and it had one of the Carradines in it.
Yep.
And it's a classic. And she gets out of the tub completely. It was like based in during the Depression, and she gets out of the tub. And my God, she was hot back in the day. So I know a lot of people saw the recent version of Shelley Duvall.
Yeah,
but,
let's remember
just
her
a little,
in her prime.
Yeah, a little walk down memory lane. She looked good back in 1974.
As rail thin as she is, she actually has a little booty on her. I mean,
I'm
very pleasantly surprised by this nude scene. And I love how she's dripping wet. I'm a big fan of this whole thing.
Yeah, she's lanky and very 70s look, and so anyway, when I saw that, I instantly thought, well, hey, do people know she's been nude? And it was a great nude scene. So anyway, that's a little bonus
the more you know.
thing. But anyway, so we've gone way past I told you there was so much to talk about.
But we got it all in.
We got it all in, guys.
A horn of plenty on this Thanksgiving edition.
A horny of plenty. Make sure, and you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll all weigh a little more, but we'll touch base again next week.
Survive those car rides, guys.
I know. I got a long one. Jimmy's got double what I got to do, so I don't feel as bad.
We'll handle it. Don't worry. I'm a trained professional, Skin Man, and I'll have this episode to hold me over. I'll listen to it on loop.
Yeah, why don't you put it? Get the whole family.
Get the kids involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your wife could learn about turkey timers and mashed potatoes.
That's funny. That's really funny. You guys, really, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all our listeners.
Yeah.
Really, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving wherever you wind up. Again, I really mean it. If 2 games don't win on Thursday, this could be it for me. Okay. So wish me luck.
All right. Yeah. We'll brace ourselves for that just in case.
Off air, let me know who I should be rooting for. Oh, by the way, I will be at the Lions-Vikings game in Detroit, so I will be at the game.
Ford Field.
I go. No, is
did
it
they change the name again?
Yeah, I don't know, but I go there. This will be my 14th year in a row.
Cool.
One of the guys I used to go on the radio in Detroit, Drew from the Drew and Mike show.
Okay.
He takes me every year because I've been a guest on his show, and it's this will be like literally my 14th year in a row of going to the game.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Jimmy, while you're losing money and all pissed off, I'll be at that game.
That is so funny. While I'm giving handies in the parking lot. To make back my money.
Hey, all right, gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Skin, all I ask is no eye contact. That's all I ask. Have fun, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, you guys.
See you guys.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.